Is it 90 degrees out today? Yes. Am I wearing a cardigan anyways? Of course I am. Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today we are doing the It's Finally Fall book tag. I know it's like seasonally, it is fall, like we've passed the equinox, it's the fall equinox at this point, and your girl is like ready for it because everything I'm like, the sky was orange, there is pumpkin spice at Starbucks, I'm ready for fall. But it's like 90 degrees anyway, so let's celebrate with a book tag because that's the only thing I seem to be able to do at this point. Now, I've looked for the original creator of the tag. I can't seem to find them, whoever they are. So if I am able to, by the time I upload this video, there'll be links down below. But if not, I am so sorry. And if you know, please tell me because I am confused. This book tag is just to celebrate fall, and clearly I'm already ready for it. So with that being said, let's dive on in. Question number 1, in fall the air is crisp and clean. Name a book with a vivid setting. I picked The Night Circus. I had a couple different options I was going to pick for this question, but I feel like The Night Circus really embodies a very vivid setting because it is set in a magical circus. Technically, it's in our world, but everything magical happens in this circus. And so it is just so beautiful and wonderful. And the way it's described with everything being black and white, but the favorite patrons get to wear red, it is just beautiful and lovely. And you can clearly see on the cover, they just embody that idea and the way everything is described and the magic and the illusion and just the beauty and wonder of a circus. I had to pick this because it's you can see it. You can literally see it when you read this book. Question number 2. Nature is beautiful, but also dying. Name a book that deals with a heavy topic like grief. So I don't normally read books with heavy topics. I haven't been very subtle about this, but my mental health is very much in flux. I am very careful about what media I consume because I don't want to risk my own mental health. And one of the answers that I eventually, I picked out for this is the 5th season. I DNF'd this book because of a lot of reasons, but also one of the main characters, their entire perspective is in second person, and that's because of the grief and the trauma that they recently went through. This whole second person perspective is their translation of how they're coping with this. So I haven't finished this, but I feel like this is the best answer I can give for this topic, even though it's not the main focus of the book. That's just a perspective that we are given the story through. I don't really have another answer to give for this because I really do avoid these kind of stories. Question number 3, fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that has taught you something. Now, I don't normally read nonfiction books. I'm in college at the moment, so what I do read is textbooks. I'm not going to recommend those to you guys. However, I do have one I really want to share, and that is On Writing and World Building. This is by a YouTuber, Hello Future Me or Dear Future Me. I'm pretty sure it's Hello Future Me. And it's just their way of putting all the videos that they've made in the past into a book. So you can cite it, resource it, underline, bookmark, everything. So if you want a really cheap way to get a hold of the content in this book, just go watch their YouTube channel. But I love having this in physical format. And so there's 2 halves of this book. The first half is on writing, how to structure a story. And then the second half is on world building, how to build the world that your story takes place in. I love their content. I love everything that they pull from, the type of media they pick. A lot of Avatar: The Last Airbender is in this book, by the way. So if you're interested in that, it's a great way to learn about that world and that writing structure and how to incorporate it into your own works. I love this. Of course, I have my own copy. I really want to have my writing be amazing. I am a writer, but I've never actually put too much effort into it. I'm finally sitting down no, I'm putting effort into my work because so this is what I've been using to teach myself that. Question number 4, in order to keep warm, it's best to spend time with the people you love. Name a family or friend group that you would like to spend time with or you would like to be a part of. I picked so Howl's Moving Castle, but in the companion novels, I have the companion novels, one sec. So in Castle in the Air, you get to see kind of what life is like with this family and friend group after the end of Howl's Moving Castle. So in Howl's Moving Castle, Sophie, our main character, is introduced into this magical moving castle run by the wizard Howl and his apprentice. And she kind of slowly gets incorporated into their life. And you get to see the after effects that in Castle in the Air. So I absolutely love the way that the magic in this world is portrayed. And the moving castle just sounds so brilliant and lovely, and I would adore, I want to be a part of that moving castle's family so badly, because it's just Calcifer and Howl, and I believe his name is Michael. I always forget the apprentice's name, but I love them all. I love them all so much, and then you get to see what their life has developed into in Castle in the Air. They're not the main focus. You only really see them in the last quarter of the book, but it's just like, I want to be a part of this world so bad because it's so magical and I love it. Question number 5, the color leaves are piling up. Show us some fall colored spines. So I actually have recently done some photo shoots with my favorite fall colored books. So here are some pictures that I took that you can find on my Instagram, by the way. I love fall. Please note, all of these pictures were taken when the sky was orange, so everything kind of has an orange tint to it. That was not a filter I put on these. That was like just the lighting I was dealing with at the moment. So, you know, I'm really vibing here. The air is spicy, but like it makes for great photography. Question number 6, fall is a perfect time for sharing stories by the fireside. Name a book that has someone sharing a story in it. So I picked The Hobbit. This entire story is told in the perspective like this is already an old tale. You already know what's going to happen. So this is a story that's told like someone is telling you a folk tale. It's kind of like you go see a play for like the millionth time. Everyone knows how the play is going to end. Everyone knows that Romeo and Juliet, like, that's a tragedy. It's a romance, but it's a tragedy. And so that is kind of the way that The Hobbit is told. It's a fairy tale. You already know it. You've heard it a million times. It's your bedtime story. So that's the way that this is told. Like, the entire perspective of this book is someone telling you a story. Now, I have more opinions about this, but I will give that in my wrap-up because I just read this and actually, you should have seen my vlog by now. You know my opinions on this book. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Question number 7, the nights are getting darker. Name a dark, creepy read. So for this, I picked Alice Isn't Dead. I don't normally read too many dark and creepy stories. However, I feel like this is like the exception to that rule. So Alice Isn't Dead is a story written by one of the co-writers of Welcome to Night Vale. It is not connected to the Welcome to Night Vale universe. It just kind of has that same sort of eerie satire horror feeling about it. Alice Isn't Dead is all the story about a truck driver whose girlfriend is like missing. So Alice is obviously the person who is missing, and her girlfriend, who is the perspective that we're following. This is a lesbian story, by the way. The lesbian truck driver is trying to find Alice, and this novel is her journey throughout America, finding the strange and unusual and eeriness that is the American Midwest. Like, the empty land, what is going on in that empty land? And there's, like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but the man in the thistles, or the man with the thistle hat, I think, that is, like, a huge part of this story, and what sets it so eerie and creepy are the people she meets along the way, and are they actually people? So yeah, really good spoopy horror read, but like not actually horror, but like definitely horror. Question number 8, the nights are getting colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that can warm up anyone's cold, rainy day. So I picked Seriously Wicked. I have not talked about this book a lot at all. Like, I've read it and that was it. So Seriously Wicked is a very tiny, short, middle grade book about the daughter of a witch as something kind of happens and a phoenix is let loose into her school, and along the way, maybe some demons show up, and she has to figure out how to keep her mundane school life and also her crush safe from all the magic and mayhem of the dragon who lives in her garage, the phoenix that might blow up come Halloween night, and also potentially a demon that is possessing someone in the school. So yeah, I love this book so much. It is definitely a great Halloween read. It is spoopy, but it's also warm and charming because you get to see witches trying to figure out, do they actually want to use magic in this growing age because of all the negativity that they see around them. So I love this so much, and again, it's a tiny short read. If you have a chance, ooh, I left my bookmark in here. If you have a chance to read this, I would recommend it. Question number 9, fall returns every year. Name a book you'd like to return to. So, The Kane Chronicles. I've mentioned this a lot in the past couple weeks. I really want to reread the series, and now that it's been announced that it's getting a movie adaptation, I have to reread this. I read this first time in middle school, so it's been a hot sec since I picked this book up. I remember it. I've been watching a lot of people talk about it. I'm part of a cosplay community that actively talks about this book, and I love The Kane Chronicles so much. It is about the descendants of pharaohs as they realize something crazy is going on. The world might end, their parents are missing, stuff is going down, and they have to find a way to reunite as a family all while doing it. And of course, it's Rick Riordan, and there's magic, and there's wonder, and like Egyptian mythology, and yeah, a lot of representation in this. Book 1, the two main characters are mixed. Sadie, our female character, is a lot lighter skinned. She's more white passing, while her twin brother Carter is very dark skinned. So you get to see a contrast in that, but it's done in the sort of way that's like middle grade, okay? And there's also, in the last book, I'm going to talk about spoilers here, the last book has a polyamorous relationship that is established and like on page established. Like, they ask that question. So I want to return to this series because I need this in my life right now because it's so good. And finally, the last question, fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Name your favorite bookish accessory. Accessories in quotes here, so you can really pick anything that you have on or around you while reading. I picked my pumpkin spice candle. Okay, so I bought this at the dollar store and I've just been in love with it. If you can't tell, I'm burning one right now. Sometimes it reflects on my whiteboard. Maybe you can see it. But I love this so much and I'm almost out of my first candle. So I returned to the dollar store and bought like 3 more of these, and oh my god, they smell like fall. They're so good and I'm like kind of obsessed. I love anything pumpkin. I love anything pumpkin spice. I love cinnamon. I love these warm smells that like remind me of baking, and I love it a lot. So yeah, if you have a chance to pick up any pumpkin spice candle, please do. They're great. So like I said, that was all the questions for the It's Finally Fall book tag. I do want to make this kind of a seasonal thing. I want to do more seasonal videos, but like fall is my favorite, so I had to do this one first. It has to be it, because like it's fall, you guys. Like I know it's 90 degrees outside, but it's fall. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to do this tag yourself, I will leave the questions down below. While you're down there, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And as always, good night, good evening, and good morning, everybody.